Hey everyone! I'm so excited to introduce you to my new friend, Jacques.
Bonjour, I am Jacques the Rock. It is such a pleasure to be with you today. Anna has been telling me all about David from the Bible. He has such an incredible story. Would you like to hear about it too? Wonderful. Let's get into it.
Well, David is now king, and he is so grateful to God for protecting him and walking with him, and for making his plan for him come true. So David comes up with a plan. He wants to do something special for God. David decides he wants to build a house for God. So he gets really excited and he goes and talks to the priest named Nathan. And he tells Nathan all about his plan to build a house for God. And Nathan thinks it's a great idea, so he said, yes, go ahead, build a house for God. And David left excited for his special project. But that night, God told Nathan that David shouldn't build a house for God after all. And then Nathan went and told David the news.
David must have felt sad and confused that he couldn't pursue his plan. It probably didn't make a whole lot of sense to David because he felt like it was a nice thing to do for him, to do for God. Have you ever made plans that got cancelled or didn't end up happening? How does that make you feel? So what did David do next? Did he throw a tantrum? Did he yell at Nathan because he brought him the bad news? Did he ignore God and just build the house anyway?
Actually, David didn't do any of those things. David responded by sitting with God. He humbled himself, he recognized that God is still in charge, and he prayed. God saying no was an important moment in David's life because it shifted his perspective. Before God said no, David was feeling like he finally had everything under control. He was king. He was a hero. He wanted to do something for God. And although he was grateful to God, David was prideful. He was acting as if he didn't really need God anymore, but that God needed him. David was making himself greater than God in a way. So when God said no, it was a reminder to David that God doesn't need us, but we need God. I think sometimes we try to do stuff for God to make ourselves feel good. We try to juggle going to church and reading our Bible and praying and singing worship songs and volunteering, which are all good things, but as soon as we drop the ball, we feel guilty. You know, God doesn't really need us to do anything. Instead, he chose us to be part of his family. We get to be in God's family, and we get to do all these wonderful things that help us get to know God more. But as soon as we start to do stuff for God that are really just to make us feel better, or even make us feel like we're better than God, we're heading down the wrong path. He is the God of the entire universe. He doesn't need us, but he chose us. We need to remember not to try and steal the spotlight from God. He is the hero of David's story and of our stories.
Ah, I see. So when God changed David's plans, he was kindly reminding David that he is the hero, not David. I am so thankful that our God is much greater than us and that he is the hero of our stories as well.
Me too, Jacques. Our God is so good and takes such good care of us. Our stories are about him, not about us. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you all next week.